Well, Moicano versus Duncan just ended yesterday, and overall, it was not that bad. I think it was a surprisingly good card. Some really good scraps in there. I'm going to recap the entire card, go through it fight by fight, let you guys know how well I did, what I think of the fight, and maybe what's next for some of these guys. Starting with the first fight, Kai Kamaka versus Dakota Hope. Yeah, Dakota Hope didn't get it done. Looks really dangerous in the first round and gassed out pretty badly towards the end. He wasn't slowing down nearly as much as the commentators were saying throughout the fight. I thought he actually did a pretty good job of pushing a decent pace through all three rounds. But Kai Kamaka, he's really crafty. Not very dangerous still, I think we saw, but crafty, kept the volume up, was able to land the better shots. One of the judges gave it to Dakota Hope, which I thought was crazy. I think Kai Kamaka clearly wins round 2 and 3 and takes a unanimous decision. Dakota Hope, stick him, he can stick around. Give him maybe one more. But I mean, I'm not really on the edge of my seat to see either of these guys fight next. But regardless, the next fight, Dione Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. This was actually a crazy one because I thought this one would be over. I thought Barbosa was getting DQ'd for sure. If you guys didn't get a chance to see Melissa Gatto, I don't know what either of them were thinking, but Melissa Gatto gets taken down. She's on her back. And then Dione Barbosa stands up, gets back to her feet, kind of kicking around, and then it appeared that she was letting Melissa Gatto back up. And instead of like looking to the referee or the referee stepping in and letting her get up, Melissa Gatto like maneuvers her body over and kind of gets on all fours. And just as she's lifting her back knee off of the ground, Dione Barbosa just like field goal kick Melissa Gatto directly on the chin. She ends up getting separated from consciousness, sprawled out on the ground. And Michael Bisping goes, "It was legal, wasn't it?" And everybody else on the booth was like, I don't know about that. And then they go back to review on the replay, and it was actually pretty close. But I think because it was so close, that's why they weren't so immediate to call the fight for Diana Barbosa and disqualify her. I think because it was so close, they ended up letting it stick around. Melissa Gatto, they asked her if she wanted to continue after getting separated from consciousness, and she agrees to come back, and they allow the fight to continue. Now, if Barbosa goes back in and immediately knocks Gatto back out, like I thought she might have done, that is a really bad look for the UFC, and they're really lucky that Dione Barbosa did not do that. She ends up toughing it out. Melissa Gatto showed some really tough heart, sticking it out through all three rounds, especially after getting fouled really badly. Yeah, Dione Barbosa got a point taken, but it just wasn't enough. Barbosa, good showing from her. The next fight, Azmat Bekoyev versus Tresean Gore. Really bad stuff here. Missed on, missed on absolutely everything. Bekoyev, the gas tank on this guy is awful. Especially the latter portion of the second round into the third round, he wanted nothing to do with this fight. Tresean Gore is awful. Don't get me wrong. So is Bekoyev. He had Tresean Gore hurt really bad. I think in the second round, in the early portion of the second round, gives a lot of effort to try and finish the fight there and wasn't able to, which I think eventually led to his demise. I had the fight to end in a knockout. Tresean Gore gets it in by guillotine. All three of his wins in the UFC come by guillotine. So he's able to find the submission. The fight started in round 3 because Bekoyev wasn't able to finish it. And yeah, Tresean Gore gets a decent win. Don't want to see either of them back in the UFC. I think we should probably cut both of them. But regardless, it was a good scrap. The next fight on the card, Alice Pereira versus Haley Cohen. This was super fun. Alice Pereira ends up getting a performance of the night bonus. She jump knees Haley Cohen in the face and leaves her looking like Melissa Gatto, hands back, eyes rolled. I mean, it was a nasty KO. Super entertaining stuff. I was watching this card with my girlfriend, and we saw the tail of the tape show up, and they had them at equal height. And Alice Pereira, I think, had like a couple inches of reach. She was massive compared to Haley Cohen. I mean, absolutely massive compared. And it's not even like she was just like taller and lengthier. Like she's filled out. She has thick legs, like a filled out frame. She was huge compared to Haley Cohen in this fight. And yeah, put on a really entertaining performance. Stuff the takedowns from Cohen. I know Cohen is not very high level, and in fact, now she's 0-3 in the UFC. She needs to be cut as well, but she's not like terrible. She's not like Trayshawn Gore terrible, who actually ended up winning. Like she's not that bad. It's still an impressive win from Alice Pereira, and to do it that way in such entertaining fashion at 20 years old now, you could tell she definitely is starting to find her stride, and she's going to be a really good prospect. So, yeah, good on her. Glad she got that one done. The next fight, Lando Venata versus Darius Flowers. How does Darius Flowers keep doing this? Both of his wins now, or I guess is his first win in the UFC, but his win on the Contender Series comes via slam KO, and then he slams Lando Venata into a broken rib and essentially ends it. I mean, if the end of it was towards the end of the first round, Darius Flowers had entered in on like a double leg, was able to pick him up and then slam him. Venata, I believe, breaks a rib. And then going into the second round, Venata just stood no chance, gets taken down again, takes a couple more shots, and Darius Flowers is able to finish the fight. Lando Venata, I don't want to say this after every single fight, but guys, these people in the early prelims of this card have some rough records, and I get it. You know, Darius Flowers wins. Good for you, dude. He said some stuff on the mic afterwards that was inspired. Like, no, I don't. Okay, whoa, let's slow down. Not inspiring, but he said some things that would get people fired up, and good for him. That's what you're supposed to do after you get an interview when you win. But not really super thrilled about either of these guys. Lando Venata can probably get cut. Don't really see his purpose of being here. And Darius Flowers, sure, give him one more fight. If he loses, see ya. The next fight on the card, Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel. Alessandro Costa is good. He's good, and Stuart Nickel is not. I was pretty spot on with this one. I had Costa to win by round 3 KO. He wins just at the end of round 2 via a body shot. A lot of body shots. This was I feel like I failed to mention this up to this point. This was like the fight card of body shots. Not necessarily all fights ended with the body shot, but it was like the demise would start with the body shot. There was tons of, I mean, it was just body shots everywhere. I felt like liver shots, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, Alessandro Costa completely outclasses Stuart Nickel. I had the fight not to go the distance. Stuart Nickel, actually, gas tank looked a lot better than I thought because his most recent fights, it was like, yeah, we're entering the third minute of the second round, and my guy's ready to, call it a day. But yeah, Stuart Nickel's just not UFC level. He was a good fighter on the regional scene. He's not a good fighter in the UFC. Alessandro Costa, good stuff from him. I'd actually like to see him get a step up. He is entertaining. He does fight like I said in the breakdown. He does fight like a low level flyweight Diego Lopez. So he was fun to watch. But yeah, good fight. The next fight, Thomas Peterson versus Guilherme Pat. I thought I was watching. I was sat back and getting ready for the fight, and I hear All Star by Smash Mouth, and then I was like, oh my god, is that Shrek? Oh my god, no, it's Thomas Peterson. He ends up walking out to All Star, emoting on his way out. I thought this guy's about to get his shit kicked in so hard. I mean, if I wanted to live bet, I would have thrown everything I had on Guilherme Pat. I picked Thomas Peterson to win by unanimous decision, and he ends up winning by majority decision. But I said this in the breakdown. On a serious note, Guilherme Pat is talented and bigger, but he's a sleepwalker, big time. He goes into the fight. I think he did lose the first round, but then he goes into that third round. I mean, props to him for not getting finished because Thomas Peterson lands a big shot and is able to just control wrestle him the whole way. But Gary Pat stuffed some takedowns, but just slept walk the entire time. Would back Peterson up against the cage, then not throw. He had such a reach advantage, and he was using that jab so well, but just sleepwalks through the second round. Gets I think he got the second round, and then sleepwalks through the second and gets 10-8'd. So yeah, one judge gave Gary Pat round 1 and 2. I thought it was pretty clearly Thomas Peterson rounds 1 and 3. Gary Pat loses his O to Thomas the Train, which I thought that was hilarious too. They kept calling him Thomas the Train throughout the whole card, but yeah, neither of these guys really entertaining. They can both stick around the UFC because the heavyweight division is so terrible. But yeah, decent win from Thomas Peterson and a pretty good prediction on my part as well. To kick off the main card, we had Jose Delano versus Robert Rucella. This was really fun. This was really fun. The announcers kept talking about like how jittery and how how much Jose Delano needed to slow down. And the whole time I'm thinking, he's fine. Like this is just this I think this is just who he is. He's awkward, he moves really fast, he's feint heavy, and he's also uh really talented. The volume that he had mixed with the accuracy, I mean, he was really, really fun to watch. And Robert Ruschala was also really, really fun to watch as well. Great chin. He had a really good pace. This fight was super high paced. Delano over on significant strikes. I think he landed like 80 or something. So I'm assuming that hit. I didn't have the exact number but at the time of filming, but I'm going to assume that that hit. Fight to go the distance as well. Neither of these guys are big time finishers. I think that was the one thing that was missing was like kind of a big shot towards the end to really cap it off. I think this should have won fight of the night, but a good scrap from either of them. Keep them both around. Good stuff for sure, and a good prediction again on my part. Started to pick it back up. The beginning of the card was a little bit weak. Was not really too fond about betting on anything early in the card. I think I made that. Hopefully, I made that clear in the breakdown. But towards the latter portion of the card, we started to pick it back up, especially with the next fight, Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zucchini. Look, good win from Tommy Tough Knuckles. I'm not going to take it away from him. However, we can't act like this guy's some killer prospect that's super fun and is going to be this problem. If he faced anyone of moderate skill and went out and fought like that, he would have gotten knocked out fast. He ends up knocking out Manolo Zucchini kind of on the feet. It wasn't really as impressive of a performance as I thought. Now, he didn't implement any grappling. I think if he wanted to, he probably could have. But he wanted to make a statement. So he goes out there, has a crazy, I mean, he's throwing overhands. He's almost falling onto the canvas because he's trying to throw so hard and not landing at all. But McMillan by finish minus 450 under 1.5 rounds hits as well. I thought he would hit a stun and sub, which I think he had the opportunity for. I think he had the opportunity throughout the entire fight to just take him down and find the submission. But like I said, I think he was trying to make a statement. So he gets done by round one knockout. Good stuff from him. Good interview after the fight. This one, fight of the night, which I wasn't too crazy about. Why are we giving Manolo Zucchini $100,000? I mean, I guess it's probably some send off money to go back to the Italian regional scene or something like that. But I thought there was more deserving. I feel like Tommy McMillan sure gave him a performance of the night, but fight of the night didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But the next fight on the card, one that definitely deserved a performance bonus of some sort and did not win anything. I think actually I said Delano deserved fight of the night. I think this is close. This also easily could have won fight of the night. Ethan Ewing versus Rafael Estevam. Ethan Ewing is legit. He is legit for sure. I had Estevam under on significant strikes. I'm probably I have that in yellow because I'm not sure. I'm almost positive that did not hit. Ethan Ewing, how fun was that? I mean, sprawls so well, is able to stop the takedowns completely. I mean, was styling on him. I thought for a second it was like, all right, Ethan Ewing, we got to lock in, try and finish this fight, especially towards the second round, towards the end when he had him hurt, and then he decides to like stunt and kind of dance instead. And then the third round picks back up, and Estevam is like fully replenished and is throwing with. I mean, Estevam did not slow down at all, really. I don't think he ate some tough shots, but yeah, Ethan Ewing is just really good. He's got great anti grappling as we saw. Estevam's not an easy guy. He was 14-0. He was a really good grappler, and Ethan Ewing completely shut him down and then outclassed him badly on the feet. So great stuff from Ethan Ewing, but yeah, Estevam, what the hell? How are you missing weight at flyweight? I've never understood this. How are you missing weight at flyweight so badly to the point where you are forced to go up to bantamweight? And then you miss weight at bantamweight. It almost was like if he won this fight and won how he typically does with a very control heavy approach, I would have been pissed off. It's like you're just going to weight bully no matter what. I mean, does it even matter if you're going up weight classes if you're still going to miss weight? But that was kind of my only gripe with that fight. But still, regardless, super entertaining. This was definitely deserving of a bonus. Ethan Ewing is legit. The next fight on the card, Abdul Rahman Yakyaya versus Brenison Ribeiro, was pretty on the money with this one. Oh, I didn't even talk about this. Real quick, back to the Ethan Ewing fight. Ethan Ewing wins by round 2 TKO. I had him, or by round 3 TKO. I had him win by round 2 TKO. Him by knockout. I had some really crazy odds, which I think I'll get to in the recap as well. But that was a great That was a great straight to place. If you did place that, I think I talked about them the breakdown too. So good on you if you hit on that. But anyways, back to Yakyaya versus Ribeiro. He ends up getting done by round one submission. I thought for a second Yakyaya tried to come out and do what he normally does, which is just throw all caution to the wind, come out swinging, and he ends up getting shut down quickly. Ribeiro lands some nice strikes. For a second, looked like he hurt Yakyaev. You could see Yakyaev kind of be like, posture up and kind of reset himself, be like, okay, this is a real fight. I'm fighting a real fighter. I need to actually use skill instead of just bum rushing in here and trying to end the fight in the first round. Lands a takedown, kind of gets him up against the cage, but he's got really good submission ability. Ties him up on the back, and then as soon as I think he just got his right arm in or something like that, and was able to sink in a rear naked choke. So yeah, Yakiyev to win by sub KO at minus 850 and under 1.5 rounds of minus 500. Both hit. Ribeiro under on significant strikes. I think it was only 2. I said he might not land any. I think he landed 2 or 3. So that definitely hit. So yeah, good stuff from him. Not really much to talk about in this fight because it wasn't. Ribeiro can stay. I don't want to be like the decision maker here after every single fight, being like, you can stay, you need to leave, you can stay. But seriously, Ribeiro, it's not like he's so awful he deserves to get cut. He's decent, nowhere near as bad as some of the other fighters on this card. So keep him around. Yakiyev, definitely give him a big step up. He's a problem. He's going to be a problem in the middleweight division. Super talented. If somebody can drag him into deep waters, though, I think that's where we could definitely be seeing a glaring issue, because even towards the beginning of the fight, I thought, things were going to slow down. But regardless, he ends up picking up the first round submission. The next fight, the co-main event, Vernon Jandaroba versus Tabitha Ricci. Complete domination. Exactly what I thought. Tabitha Ricci is good, but Jandaroba is just better in almost every facet. Tabitha Ricci had some moments on the feet, but really the majority of the moments on the feet went to Jandaroba as well. She landed the. Did she land the more damaging shots? I think so. I think she did. Yeah. And then she was able to take Tabitha Ricci down pretty much whenever she wanted. Tabitha Ricci did a decent job of stuffing the takedowns at times, but not enough. Jandaroba, once she got Tabitha Ricci down, was just kind of able to control her to the decision that I thought would happen. I have enjoyment under in yellow because you may have enjoyed it. It wasn't as bad, but it wasn't great. You know what I mean? I wasn't like super juiced up. But yeah, said Jandaroba was probably the best value on the card at minus 125. I could have definitely, I mean, if I were to bet a lump sum of money, like a large portion of money on one person, it would have been Jandaroba for sure. Great value. I thought she was a much better fighter. She showed it, and good win from her. She's probably gonna have to fight somebody outside. She's gonna have to fight down again because she can't fight up, unfortunately. But yeah, she's still continuing to be one of the best flyweights. No, yeah, flyweights in women's MMA. The main event: Chris Duncan versus Hinata Moicano. Really weird. I didn't understand this. I thought Chris Duncan would try and grapple a bit more. Duncan ends up losing. Hinata Moicano wins by second round submission. I had Duncan winning by second round TKO, so I guess he got the round right. That doesn't matter for anything because I said in the breakdown I wasn't overly confident in any of these. But yeah, Moicano looked great. Moicano looked really good. He on the feet just looked a step ahead. No matter what Chris Duncan was trying to do, Moicano was just a step ahead. The jab looked great. Checked a bunch of leg kicks and then dropped Chris Duncan in the second round. And I feel like Chris Duncan was kind of just trying to ease his way into this fight, and Moicano wasn't having it. He brought it to him, knocks down Chris Duncan badly, and then the demise of Chris Duncan comes from maybe the worst corner call I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. His corner goes, surprise elbow, as if Moicano can't hear clear as day and fully understands English, by the way, as we saw in the post-fight interview. Chris Duncan throws a surprise elbow. Moicano sweeps in right under his neck and finishes the fight immediately. Literally immediately. Chris Duncan throws the elbow and then loses via rear naked choke. So good win for Moicano. Said he doesn't want anybody hard. I agree. Don't give him anybody hard. He's fun, but I feel like if he faces anybody within the upper echelon of the division, they're going to completely destroy him. And why do that to somebody? I mean, I think some matchups that make sense are Brian Ortega. I think I heard somebody throw out Patty Pimblett. Sure, it'll be entertaining, I guess. But nah, I think Brian Ortega reschedule that. It got canceled. It was supposed to be on the 326 card, the co-main event of that. It got canceled. So yeah, rebook that. I think it makes tons of sense. Moicano looks great. I think he'll probably win that fight too. And yeah, he gets on the mic, says some fun stuff afterwards too. So good stuff from Renato Moicano, winning by second round submission. To recap all the bets, McMillan KO sub at minus 450, Jandarova minus 125, and Barbosa money line, as well as Costa money line, all hitting off on the Bekoev Trayshawn Gore under 3 rounds. Don't know why I keep saying under 3 rounds instead of just not to go the distance. The odds shift is not that much different. And at minus 110, I liked the value. It was good value. The fight should have probably ended in the second round, but it ends up getting dragged in the third. Does not go the distance. Would have saved, a bet there. And then Duncan money line. Probably shouldn't have put that in parlay legs. I wasn't overly confident in it. And that ends up not hitting. High value straights. Peterson fight to go the distance, plus 110. Peterson to win by decision, which I think was an even better straight value bet that I placed personally. I just in case anybody cares, I ended up making it not too bad. I think I doubled what I put in. I won't give out any numbers. We're not doing that. Come on. Doubled the value that I put in. So not too bad. Haven't been down since the London card, I don't think. I think we're not doing that bad. Or maybe even before that. So yeah. Anyways, Ethan Ewing by KO at plus 325. So I did put this in there. Good. I talked about that earlier. Him to win by knockout at plus 325, I felt like was great because if he was able to keep the fight on the feet, I think he would have been able to find the finish, and that's what he did. So good stuff there. Hope money line, no. Cowan money line, no. Zucchini money line, hell no. So overall decent stuff. I am posting a non-breakdown recap video. I debated even recording this one because it was just a mad card. Not fun, not that bad to watch. It was actually super entertaining. I think we'll see with in the future if this trend continues, but the money incentive that the UFC gives these guys to go out and perform to guys that know that they probably shouldn't be in the UFC, or okay, I don't want to say that, but know that this might be their last chance with the UFC, or they view this as a huge opportunity. Of course, they're going to go out there and scrap. You give somebody who's making 12-12, 12 to show, 12 to win, and you give them a 25K finishing guarantee. You bet your ass they're going to go out there and try and finish. It's probably not 12-12. I shouldn't talk about numbers because I really don't know, but I guarantee you it's probably something like that. Fight of the night, performance of the night, 100K. Hell yeah, these guys are going to go out there and perform their asses off for the UFC. So yeah, these Apex cards that are trash on paper, because this one, let's be honest, was trash on paper, ends up not being that bad because these guys go out and they fight super hard. So good on them, good on the UFC too for giving them that incentive, because I feel like without that at the beginning of the year, cards like these probably don't go nearly as well. And I mean that truthfully because that incentive I think has played a big part into the overall performance of every single card. The fights have been good lately, guys. The fights have been really good. But anyways, that's all I got. I will be uploading some non breakdown recap videos. I got some extra time, so I was able to make some graphics, and hopefully you guys will like those. No guarantee if it's this week or next week, but it's definitely coming out for sure. I'm excited. I will make a recap. We got UFC 327 coming up. Tatsuro Taira versus Joshua Ving gets moved to 328. That card is now stacked. 327. We got Asmat Mirzakhanov versus Paulo Costa as the main event. Not sure how juiced I am about that, but regardless, it'll be fun. It's in Miami. We get to see Yuri versus Carlos Oberg. That's going to be a banger. I'm super excited for that. Good weekend coming up. I will make sure I get you guys the event breakdown for that. And yeah, I will see you then. See ya.